Welcome back to the Eye of Jupiter Live. I am your host, Tom Franklin, and this week we have on Jen Kurz from the She Squatchers. I'll get there. That's one of those tongue twisters. The She Squatchers is on with us, and we're going to get into what she does and how she came to doing that, what she's found out, the things that she, her investigations and things of that nature. A little bit different today. There is two links. You will see there is a vertical link and there's a horizontal link. If you want to come over into the chat, join us on the horizontal link. The link is in the description if you happen to be on your phone, and you can go right down, right below the first line. You'll see the link for the horizontal chat. So do me a favor and go on over and click there. If you want to come in the chat, the more the merrier. The same thing with Facebook. Normally I just say join us, but I actually put the link in today. So if you want to come from Facebook and come directly into the chat, you can come and do that as well. So if you can find yourself coming back to the Eye of Jupiter, or this is your first time, please do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. That's the best way to support the channel. And I also want to give a shout out to two people who signed up and gave me a rating over on Spotify. That will be Elk Valley Paranormal with Sin Schrader Hill and Vlog 11 Sunny. Thank you so very much. Here's your shout out. I got you guys up there. Please go over and check them out. They're fantastic. They always support the channel, and I'm always happy to see them. So with all that out of the way, let's please welcome to the Eye Jen Kurz from the She Squatchers. Hi, Jen. Oh, Jenny's she's in between work and she's rushing. I caught her at the wrong moment. She rushed home just to be on the show with us today, and then she has to go back to work. Get a little sip of milk there. You'll be okay.
Right. Hey, you caught me with a bit of peanut butter sandwich in my mouth there.
Yeah, I have some bad timing sometimes. I should have looked down in the green room and seen that because I know you mentioned it. So, So, which state are you coming to us from today?
I'm in Minnesota, Moorhead, nice Minnesota.
Nice and cold.
Currently -2.
Oof. Oh, I don't want to be mad. I don't want you to be mad at me. It was 87 degrees down here today, so nice and warm. I know everyone gets so mad at me. Jen, please do me a favor. Introduce yourself to people. Tell them a little about yourself, what it is that you do, and where people can find you.
Absolutely. My name is Jen Kurz. I am team leader and founder of the She Squatchers, which is an all-female Bigfoot research team. But we don't just go looking for Bigfoot. We look for everything, all the cryptids, all the ghosts, all the entities, every folklore, everything. We are all psychic mediums, and that's kind of our niche into getting a little closer and having more experiences than the average person probably does. We have a little edge on that. So,
okay. I think she's.
So yeah. So we've been going at it since 2015, and I can't believe it's been that long now. That we've been looking for Bigfoot, and it's been just an amazing adventure for us. Fantastic. And for me, to be able to go out looking for Bigfoot with my best friend and have all these little adventures has just been the highlight of my life for quite a few years now. I don't actually take real vacations. I just spend my time off doing this. So I might be in Mexico visiting you at some point.
Oh, sure. Come on down. I mean, if you want to, I'll hook you up with a good hotel. I speak some Spanish, and it's a very nice place. I live in a place called Campeche, and you can come down and look at some pyramids if you'd like.
Oh my gosh, I would freaking love that.
Yeah. So do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook page? Where can people find you?
We have a website, which I need to update really badly because it's old. I haven't done anything with it for a while. SheSquatchers.com. Just a heads up, Tammy is still listed. Tammy was with us for quite a few years, and she's left the team. Real recently, she decided to, again, we use our time off to go and do these adventures. And she decided that she wanted her time off to do some other things for a while. So she stepped away from the team for now.
Okay. So how did this start for you, Jenna? Were you Jen, excuse me, your partner is Jenna, Jen and Jenna. What do you guys are? JJ? What is this? Good times? What's going on here?
We're both Jennifer, actually. We're both Jennifer. But when we first started out, it was just the two of us. And people knew us as the Jens. We were both Jen. Okay. And then that was working really well until people were trying to talk about us. And then to differentiate which Jen they're talking about was becoming difficult. So her nickname as growing up was Jenna. So she just decided to be Jenna. so that they could differentiate between the two of us.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, so one more time, just a little bit of just a little update. I know we just started the show, so I see Scranda Sophia. Hello, hello, welcome to the show. Please do me a favor if you want to get into the chat and you want us to conversate with you, you can write on there and say hello. Thank you very much, and I'll pop you up there. But if you'd like to converse with us, please do me a favor, go over into the horizontal. So if you go into the link down below, you will be able to come right on over and talk with us. Thank you so much. I don't think people can see each other. There's this new version on which you can do two simultaneous things at the same time. So Jenna, you are the in German they call it the Versuchskaninchen. We'll call it the canary in the coal mine. Thank you so much for being that for me today. So you go, and what were you out, with your family one day, or you were a young lady? How did this all begin for you?
Well, okay, so I'm a psychic medium and I was doing paranormal work and I ended up with a paranormal radio show. And I was at the Paracon in my home state of Minnesota, and Lauren Coleman was there. And he's the cryptozoologist who has the International Cryptozoology Museum in the state of Maine. And I thought, oh, what a great interview he'd be for my show. So I asked him and he said yes. So we sat down in person and did an hour interview for my show. And at that time, I really didn't know anything about Bigfoot. I had never sat down to even think about Bigfoot. Did I think Bigfoot was real? I actually just assumed that it wasn't real.
Okay.
And he assured me that Bigfoot was indeed in my home state of Minnesota. And I just found that to be a completely odd statement since I had grown up in the woods. We were very poor and we foraged and hunted and grew most of what we ate. So I was in the woods all the time with my mom and without my mom. I mean, through my whole growing up, I was in the woods and never would have thought that there was a Bigfoot out there. So I just kind of, and he assured me and encouraged me to go try. It was his dream to get women to go out into the woods without men, dogs, or guns, because he thought that would be the recipe for success in getting closer to and interacting with the Bigfoot.
Oh,
so he encouraged me to get some women together and go out and try this. So this was really his brainstorm of an idea. And I said, okay, we'll try it. And I grabbed a few ladies that were at the Paracon I was at. They were paranormal investigators. They had the night vision cameras that I thought we needed to see into the woods in the dark, right? But our first time out, we actually, my idea on top of Lauren's was, because I'm psychic, maybe we can find the spots easier.
Okay.
And the answer is yes, we can.
Okay.
Try, we had an encounter. We saw it on the thermal. It was throwing rocks at us. We were getting surrounded. It was quite the intense ordeal for our very first time. And to be honest with you, the majority of the ladies that were with me that night were freaked out, and they wanted to get in the car and drive away as fast as possible.
Understandable.
I always tell people, you never know how you're going to react when you're out there. I mean, it always seems like a good idea to go looking for Bigfoot, right? But once you're actually having an encounter, that's when you find out, is this going to be for you or not? And so for the majority of the ladies that were with me, they were scared and wanted to go. And things that they were saying as we drove away were, I'm not sure that I really want to find Bigfoot now. Maybe he could just step out in front of the car and we could get a picture. That would be okay. But this is way scarier than haunted houses. This is scarier than a crucifix flying off the wall at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I would be the opposite for me, honestly, to be honest with you.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it depends how far you're in the woods. If you're like anything over 200 yards, I might be a little squeamish.
Well, that night we were on the reservation, on one of the native reservations in Minnesota, and we were on a road that is literally just a gravel road that's wide enough for one car. And it was surrounded by dense forest, and there was nothing for miles other than this forest and a lake on the other side of the forest, and then more forest. And we were out there in the dark, and this stuff started going down, and it was scary for them. It was scary for them. And for me, I actually ended up speaking. I'm part Native American. I'm enrolled tribal in the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians in northern Minnesota. And I do speak a little Ojibwe. I'm not fluent, but I get by. Okay. So I started to speak out loud in the Ojibwe language to Bigfoot. which my elders told me to do,
Interesting.
and it all stopped. So for me, I was all excited, like, hey, it worked, it worked. And I was just thrilled. Well, these ladies that I had with me had no idea what I had just said or that it was reacting to what I just said. And they're just like, let's get out of here.
I've been speaking to I speak to actually quite a few women who are involved in Bigfoot, whether it be Barbara Shoop. You know who she is. She accidentally photographed or filmed the one that looks like Predator and the eyes. I actually did an interview with her recently. Then we also have the wonderful Barbara Hart from was that Washington State. Then I have on Waiza, who is a Native American herself, and she has a channel called Northwest Native Tracker, and she talked about her, her, what is it, like it's like a rite of passage kind of situation, and she's the last to do it in her tribe in her interactions with the Bigfoot people, or the forest people as she calls them. And I think it's wonderful. And I had on Tom Contrell, and he said he believes that that females are the best at it because you guys have this this motherly sense of nurturing and things like that, which they seem to be rather calm with, instead of this man rah 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 going out in the woods stuff. So yeah, I think that's very interesting, and I think it's pretty cool that you decided to do that.
Well, thank you. It's been really fun for me. And for me, I got hooked on it the first night. So I've been hooked ever since. And sometimes we're spending a month out in the wild at a time.
Okay.
And sometimes it's like, maybe I should go on vacation.
But it is a vacation, because vacation, people think it's like, you lay on the beach, or when you retire, you got a Mai Tai in your hand and you just lay on the beach all day. Okay, what do you do the next day then? Vacation is doing what you love to do. And for me, I was always very physical. So, when I lived in Europe, I would either be snowboarding in the winter or windsurfing in the summer. And people go, let's go fly to Italy or something to lay on the beach. I think you're doing what you love. And so doing what you love is never like a task. This is my opinion. You can correct me, of course. Then it is vacation, especially in the woods too. And being a Native American, that's what you've always done. I'm sure it's very enjoyable, relaxing, as well as exciting.
It is very much so. And, and because we're so open with our mission statement of, we look for anything, and we've encountered multiple different kinds of things. It's just been fun for us. I really feel like this is all part of the great mystery, and we're supposed to be exploring the great mystery with our lives.
True. So let's get into some of these encounters. I mean, so the first one, you've seen it, you kind of, the ones who thought they could do it kind of sloughed off, and it was just you, the other Jen, and the lady who's no longer with you, at least, and you guys just ran with it, or how did that all kind of filter itself through?
Jenna wasn't actually with me the first time. I was afraid to tell my friends that I was doing it. I was embarrassed that I was going to go looking for Bigfoot. I didn't believe in Bigfoot. So as soon as I had this encounter, I was all excited, and now I needed to find somebody who'd actually go out and do it with me. So I immediately told Jenna, and I was really shy about telling her, and I was like, how's she going to react to this? And she was like mad at me that I didn't take her with.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, she's down. I like that. A person who's like, if I'd have gone, that would have been great. Next time, call me up. Yeah. Okay.
Right,
I like that. Yeah.
So then she was on board after that. And then it was just Jenna and I for, a few years. And then, Tammy was my other best friend. And so I, was always asking her if she wanted to do this with us. And it just wasn't the right time for her. And then she did finally come on. But she was not able, she still has kids at home. She wasn't able to travel as much as Jenna and I do, who do not have kids at home. Okay. So she just wasn't able to do it as much as we were able to do that. So in the end, she decided to step away, and we're back on the road.
Okay. So after this, how did you, did you start going into it? What are you finding out there? What could you tell the people out there about them? What kind of experiences have you had with them? Positive, negative, things of that nature?
Right. Well, so I do believe that the ones up north here in Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, I do believe that some of them are familiar with the Ojibwe language, because there's been 2 instances now that has been pretty clear to me, because the one where I was speaking in Ojibwe and I thanked them and then they just stopped doing what they were doing. And so that to me was confirmation that they understood what I was saying. And another time we were in Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and that's when we had first met Jason Kenzie, who is the filmmaker of Searching for Sasquatch documentary series.
Wow.
And we started filming with him there in Michigan. That was our first time. And we were there with him for like 3 or 4 days in the field. And then we had to leave early because we were speaking at the Tennessee or the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So we had to get back and get on a plane and get there for that. So we had just found a big X in the forest, and Jason had the great idea to hang his hammock from there and sleep there that night. And I was like, that's not a good idea, Jason.
He hung it off one of their structures.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he did it, and you know, he says some stuff happened, but I didn't really get to hear about all of that until the show came out on the TV. So I'm watching it just like everybody else, watching it on TV, and I then get to hear what happened because he said he had recorded some audio. And so, you know, I just assumed it was some whoops or whatever. But no, when he was hanging in the hammock, something approached him, growled, and then it said something to him, which he got on recording. And so when I'm watching the show, I listened to the recording and I was like, that's Ojibwe.
Get out of here, dude. Are you serious?
I'm serious. And so I immediately called Jason. I'm like, Jason, that's Ojibwe language. And I don't think that he believed me. I really don't think he
Okay, what did it say? Could you translate for us?
Well, I only knew part of it because I'm not fluent. I only know.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So,
I speak German, and I'm fluent in German, and I speak a little bit of Spanish. So I understand that certain things are difficult. I do get it.
Right. And Ojibwe is a very unique language. It is. It's very hard to learn it. But it has a very unique sound. So when you hear it and you're familiar with you know when that's Ojibwe. So I don't think he believed me. He didn't. I know he didn't. So then skip forward a little bit, and I've got him in Minnesota, and I take him to my reservation, and we're filming up there. And I said, Jason, will you play that audio recording for these people right here?
What's his last name again? Jason who?
Kenzie.
Oh, I've had him on before. I've spoken to Jason Kenzie.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful person. Yeah. He also talked about coming down here. Jason, if you see this, I'm still waiting for your, contact me, bro. Come on down.
So he played it for these two friends of mine. And it was unfortunate that we couldn't use the video of that first time because the gentleman didn't want to be on camera. He didn't want to be on the film. So we had to recreate that the next day. But the original time that they listened to it for the first time, they didn't know the context of the recording they were listening to. They didn't know it was possibly a Bigfoot. All they knew was I wanted them to listen to it and to hear it. And so they listened to it and they both kind of gasped. They repeated to each other what they heard it say. And I said, what does it mean? And then the first part was hoa, which is it's like a surprise reaction, right?
Oh, like ooh, okay.
And then it said, get out of here.
Oh my God. I've never heard that. Is okay? I've been doing this show for almost 2 years in February, and that's the first time someone has actually told me something translated from the Sasquatch Forest people. That is amazing. Oh my God.
And it shocked Jason too, because I know he did not believe me when I told him that's Ojibwe language. I am positive and I'm sure that is Ojibwe language. And I don't think he believed me. So here he's playing it for them and he's watching them react to it. And he's like, holy crap, it really is,
That is astounding. We have a question for you. We have a question. Thank you, Paul Lither, for your question. We have the question, Jen, are you going to do more? Are you going to do more going out? Okay, it's a weird sentence. Looking for Bigfoot without men, dogs are gone. Are you going to continue basically doing what you're doing? I guess that's what you're asking, Paul.
Well, yeah, I think he's making a note that lately we've been traveling with Jason and filming, and so then there's a man there. But
oh yeah, okay, all right,
okay. So, yes, we are definitely doing more of that. We have some things scheduled. The sad part about that is typically you don't see a lot of that stuff because we don't have a cameraman.
Okay. Okay, so that's a shout out. Call people, anybody in Minnesota there, if you want to go ahead and if you're interested in it, contact Jen over on her Facebook page and you can get out there.
Well, and we're not, so we're not doing it in Minnesota. We're actually doing it probably down south, because it's
Oh,
winter time right now. So the next
oh,
time we go out, we'll be in the south.
okay. So
Very
you're okay. I know. I think I know where you are. You're way up there. It's like this. It's like a barren area where there's actually not much cell signal up there too. At least I don't know the name of it, but it's an area of that part of where you're from, the Midwest there, that is super cold, no cell signal, and it's just kind of like just goes on forever. All right, yeah. So what have you other than them saying, "Hey, get out of here," which is one of the most astounding revelations I've ever heard on this channel. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Um, tell me about your second encounter. What was that like?
Oh my gosh. So I kind of skip over the ones that were just kind of where I saw something moving and I'm going to it, and then I get to this. We found a den-like structure in Minnesota on my reservation. And so I do this thing that I call geographic remote viewing. And it's different than remote viewing because I'm actually looking at satellite imagery, and
Okay,
I'm
all right.
asking, so then I can lock down GPS coordinates in a specific location, right? So I'm asking for specific questions when I'm looking at satellite imagery. And I used to use this when I was looking for missing people, when I'd work on missing people cat cases, and I have found people, you know.
Wow, I know somebody else who can do that. I do. So that's.
It,
I don't want to say his name, but I actually know somebody who knows how to do that. So
so
yeah.
I'm going to be very clear that I do not like looking for missing people because usually they're
Oh,
dead.
it's very because not only can you remote view them, but if I'm wrong, you can please correct me, Jen. There's a part in which you connect to their emotions at the time of whatever's happening or has happened, right?
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
very taxing upon you.
Yeah,
Yes,
it is. It's
yeah.
very much so. It's very much so. I saw that question about it looking at Google Earth as remote viewing. It's okay. You're looking at a location, yes.
Hmm.
But what I'm talking about is a psychic tapping into a location. So I specifically am asking, are there any Bigfoot here? Show me the Bigfoot. Show me
Okay.
where there's evidence of Bigfoot. And then what I see on the image changes. Sometimes I'll see a movie right on top of the image. Sometimes I'll just see a giant Bigfoot face just appear on the map. And I can literally get it down to the GPS coordinates and we can go there. So this is what we did. And so the first time I did that on my own reservation, I found a spot that I was like, ooh, there's an aggressive male. And I can tell sometimes what their disposition is. I'm like, aggressive male, don't want to meet him. That's his territory right there. So I asked for Bigfoot evidence, and this whole area like lit up this golden light color. And so I marked that, and I knew for a fact that there was something there. And this was the first time I had done this with Jenna. She was unfamiliar with this whole process, but I was very, very accurate in my previous things that I used it for. And so when I saw it, I knew there was for sure something there. So we drove there,
Okay.
and this was an unmarked. You could see that it was a trail on when you looked at the satellite imagery. You could see, but it was an unmarked road. It wasn't even a minimum maintenance road. What it was I didn't know if we could drive on it or not until we got there. So we went there. I discovered that we could kind of drive on it. And when I say that, I mean, I really scratched the crap out of my car driving on that trail.
Okay. Be careful now.
And there was literally trees going across my car. So if you have a nice car, this would make you cringe.
I don't, so it's no big deal. My truck looks like it's from World War II.
So
Yeah.
we drove this trail, and I'm looking at, and I still had signal, so I'm looking at Google satellite imagery as we're driving, and we're like this blue dot traveling on this trail. And then I was able to see when we were right next to the space that lit up as Bigfoot evidence that we could collect. So I'm like, stop the car, here we are. I said, if we get out and go to the right about 100 feet, we're going to be in the territory of that aggressive male. Let's not do that. But to the left, there's going to be some evidence that we can collect. And Jenna's like, And my whole
I think I like her already. I don't know why, because that was such a real, like visual for something.
and so my whole method of idea for this was to find them, drive as close as you can get, jump out of the car ready to go, and go straight for them. Right? That was my whole idea. That was my plan. I had everything ready. Jenna's and we had Nikki with us, and Nikki is a former member of our team. She's since passed away. But she was actually the one driving, and she wasn't feeling that well that day. So she was just going to stay in the car. So Jenna is very much of a caregiver, caretaker type of person. I am too, but Jenna's a little bit more, are you okay? And so she's like, do you want to use my Netflix? And I'm like, Jenna, come on, let's go. And so I'm waiting for her to get her stuff ready. And I was so annoyed. I'm not even, if she was here, I'd still say that. I was so annoyed. Anyway, so I start looking into the woods to the right where that aggressive male is, thinking, maybe I'll see something if I just stand here and look. And I thought I saw something, and I like something fell in front of me, like a little rock or whatever. And I was just like, okay. And then at that moment, Nikki says, I think I see something out there. And she's looking to the left where the Bigfoot evidence is. And I'm like, duh, Jen, don't go towards the aggressive male. Go look where the Bigfoot evidence is. So I go to the other side of the car and I start looking. And I see dark colored something moving back there.
Okay.
And I'm like, come on, Jenna. And I start walking into the forest away from the car by myself. And to me, this was going on in slow motion because I'm like, come on, Jenna. And I'm getting kind of mean about it. I'm like, right now, because I didn't want to walk up to a Bigfoot by myself.
Right.
So I was kind of rude. And so here she comes. And this is really funny because it was, I don't know how many years ago, and I wish I remembered which podcast we were on at the time. But Jenna literally said on a podcast one time, it was like she knew there was going to be something there. She walked right to it. And I was like, Jenna, did you just hear yourself? I said, there's going to be something right there within 100 feet of the trail. There's something right there. I saw it on the remote view. But again, Jenna didn't really know anything about remote viewing at that time. And this was her first experience with it. And so after that, she was more of a believer, obviously, because we walked right up to this humongous structure that was den-like.
Okay.
It wasn't just a teepee or an X. It was literally a den. And it is made of trees that were stacked, and the branches of it were weaved together just tightly. Nothing was tied and nothing was screwed or glued. I mean, it was literally woven together, and it was large. It was large, and it had a doorway, but no door. And there was like different aspects to it. Like the end of it that we walked up to, we called it the tower because it was like 2-3 stories tall.
Oh, this is huge.
Yeah, it was.
Did you take any pictures of this?
Absolutely. There's video on our website or on our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. What's your YouTube channel so people can go?
She Squatchers Official.
She Squatchers Official, guys. Go over there, like and subscribe to her channel, and go and see what her amazing videos and pictures have come, so you can see what she's talking about. That is fantastic. Yeah, so you see this tower and you're looking, and you're looking at it, and you took some videos of this, and you just pop it up there, and you kind of like let people see what it is that you and Jenna do.
Well, and there's more than that. So when we were approaching it, the part that we called the tower was the end of it. So if it was similar to like if you're at Walmart and they have an end cap at the end of the aisle, it was about that wide, and then it had about 5 feet tall and down. It was completely dark inside of it. And I felt like there was something in there. And there was like bushes growing outside of that area. And so as we were approaching it, the bushes started to move
Okay.
from something that was in there. And,
Right.
there was, we were moving these sticks to kind of get around to the other side of it. But I was trying to stay back because I'm like, there's something in there. And I don't know if I want to corner it. I don't know. I couldn't see into it, into that darkness. And then like the other, how tall it was like there was foliage weaved in so that there were like levels of,
Wow.
it's weird. Anyway,
That's
so
intricate.
I was actually at an event one time, and I was going to play this video on in my laptop for people to look at at my booth. And the guy that was helping me was actually an FBI guy, and he was there at the event, and I was having trouble getting it to go on to play on repeat. So he was trying to help me get my laptop to play it on repeat. So he's watching this video over and over again, and he's now not helping me. Now he's just watching the video because he's like, 1, 2, 3. It got touched 3 separate times. That bush got touched 3 separate times, and you're still walking towards it.
There,
He's like,
I love that. There's so many people like that. There's I can't think. I think it was George Lunsford. He was down there in North Carolina, and he was up in the woods with Harley Owens. And he goes, "There's one right there." He goes, "What? You mean that shadow over there, like this shade, like underneath this tree?" And he goes, "That's one. I'm telling you." He walked towards it. It moved. He chased it. So I mean, I understand the sentiment, but not really.
So Jenna is like pulling these sticks out of the ground and just tossing them. And I was so focused on that dark spot underneath the tower that I wasn't really looking at what she was doing. And it wasn't until later that I watched the video that I noticed that what the sticks she was pulling out of the ground that were standing up, they were literally put in there, like creating like a fence.
Okay.
And like ripping it out part so we can get around to the other side. And it was like, I didn't realize that until later. Okay.
Okay.
And so we get around to the side of this. And so the part that is the tower has a back, and then this other structure was built onto the back of it. And that was like the den-like structure. And it wasn't as tall, but it had a roof. And it had walls and this doorway, and it was rectangular shaped. And you could literally see that the trees were stacked on top of each other and then weaved together. And it was just bizarre. And Jenna's like, do you want me to go in there? And I was like, you want to go in there? I mean, the tower's right here. And I just felt like something had been in there.
But so would you think to an untrained eye, say for somebody who just kind of walks about in the woods, would run across that and see that? Was it that like, recognizable, or so, like where it's like, what is that? Is it like that kind of shocking?
So on my reservation, it's always deer hunting time because it's
the law. Yeah,
okay.
It's the law. Yeah.
And the way that they hunt is typically somebody's driving the pickup truck, and there are a couple of guys riding in the back of the pickup truck, standing with their rifles out, and they will shoot from the truck.
Okay.
So this easily could have been a way to hide, because you couldn't really see it. You couldn't really see it. And in the whole area around it, there were like sticks shoved into the ground in clusters, so that when you were like 25 feet away from it, you didn't even notice that it was anything.
Right. They are the masters of like the skies. They are the masters of their domain. Right. And do you feel that if they don't want you to see them, that they can manage that to make sure that you don't?
I do feel that they can hide. Whether people talk about cloaking and things like that, I don't know that they can do that. I don't know that they can't do that. I do know that they blend into their environment very, very well. I think a lot of times they just lay down and be very still as people walk by. I think or they just sit like this, like a little stump.
Yes, where they kind of like crouch down into a ball, and you might even think it's like a boulder or like a mossy stump or something. I've
Yeah.
heard of that before too.
Yeah.
That is fascinating, and I also imagine, being in northern Minnesota on any type of wooded area, no matter how dense it is in the summer, it's more visible to see through the forest. So they can actually, if they can make a structure where it kind of like from whatever angle you're looking at it, you still can't really tell unless you get up on it. That is fascinating, and that means they're forethinking and just incredibly intelligent. Would you say so?
I think they're incredibly intelligent. I mean, the fact that they're not attacking people tells you that they're intelligent
Okay.
because they know we're dangerous.
Okay, so in your folklore of your tribe and your First Nations people, is there anything in there? Because I always love to ask people who are, Native Americans, of course, if there's anything in there that kind of connects your bloodline and your lineage to them, especially if they're speaking or understand the language that you guys are speaking. Is there anything in your folklore?
Absolutely. I mean, there's lots of stories about the Bigfoot, but the one thing that I think is probably the most prominent is that we have what's called the 7 sacred teachings of the grandfathers. And these are the seven teachings that they live by. And these are as sacred to the Ojibwe as the 10 commandments are to the Christians, okay?
Okay.
And so each one of the 7 sacred teachings is represented by a known animal. So like love is represented by the eagle. Humility is represented by the wolf. So each one is represented by an animal, and honesty is represented by Bigfoot.
Wow. Thank you for that. That is some cool information.
So to the Ojibwe people, mostly the traditional ones, this isn't a maybe Bigfoot exists. Bigfoot absolutely exists. It's not a maybe. Bigfoot is as real as an eagle.
Right.
As real as the wolf.
So we have a question from my wonderful moderator, Pamela Stefan, and she's always a big help. Have you ever experienced mind speak or something similar as a medium?
So, in a way, yes. So when I'm remote viewing locations, doing the geographic on the satellite imagery, sometimes they'll be like, shh.
Oh my God.
And they're literally telling me not to tell people that they're there. And I respect that. I don't say.
I think you have to. I do. That's very interesting.
And then other times they're like waving at me or they point, we're going this way. And so they're literally, it's sometimes interactive when I'm remote viewing. It's interactive. And so I it's winter here, so I don't get to go out much, but I do interact with other Bigfoot researchers in other parts of the country who have asked me to remote view for them.
Wow.
And I won't always do it. Number one, I don't have time to do it all the time. I have a job and a life and all that. And the amount of requests that come in, it takes time. And I have to be sitting where my phone isn't blowing up. I mean, I need time to look and delve into it. Also, a lot of people don't want to give you their hotspot locations for you to look at either. Like, I'm obviously how many states away? I'm not coming over there. So it's so funny. Anyway, so there are some that give me their GPS coordinates that they want me to look at, and I look. And
so that's an interesting way of doing it. That's such an interesting way of doing it. I'm sorry, I have so many questions over here, but you just have this information, and everyone, I might have to have you back on. We're 40 minutes in, and it feels like it's been seriously 10. So yeah, please. I have to ask this question. It's getting to me. So how about Dogman? You say you look for all type of cryptids. What about the Dogman, and does that represent anything in the views of your Native people?
So the Dogman is something that I've just recently become interested in, and I've been feeling very cautious about the Dogman. And it's time for me to put that down and just really start looking. Recently, I started working with the elders on my reservation. Actually, literally last week, I got to spend a whole day in the nursing home working one-on-one with the elders.
Oh, beautiful.
And they're the ones who have the good stuff. They got this, they know, right? And so last week I was literally meeting them, and now I have a list of questions to start asking the next time I'm there.
Oh, okay. You got to take that notebook with you. I know. I understand. Oh, so
Um,
you're in. So what did you hear anything? Did you get any tidbits you can maybe share with us?
well, I haven't been able to ask them that yet. I was just getting to know them this last week, and so now next time I'll start asking the questions that I have about Dogman, because the elders are a little bit skittish about sharing the wisdom with people that they don't know.
Okay,
So
apparently you're well known. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Some a mountain and a hole in a hill, or yogurt from milk sometimes. But Sasquatch Mama, very nice, Mrs. Curse. How do you say your name? Is it Cruz or Cruz?
Cruise, like Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Cruise, but it is German, so Cruz. Could you please elaborate about your experience on the Randy Bauer property? I don't know anything about that. Maybe you can say something to that.
Okay, so Randy Bauer property is up by Black Duck, Minnesota. It's a private property owned by
Black
Randy
Death,
Bauer.
Minnesota.
Black Duck.
Oh my God, I was gonna say, if it's Black Death, Minnesota, how many people are in that town? Zero.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a private property owned by Randy, and he has had some very interesting encounters going on there. And so the very first time I saw Bigfoot in the daytime out in the open was at Randy's property. And
Okay, go into that, please. I'd love to
so
hear that.
we were doing a scouting mission to see where we wanted to film our Minnesota documentaries at. We filmed 2 documentaries in Minnesota. So we were looking for where do we want to come and dig in when the film crew is with us, right? So Jenna and I arranged to go out to Randy's property, and 45 minutes before we got to his property, I'm a Reiki master teacher, so I do energy work. So, and Jenna's a Reiki master. So we were doing Reiki in the car for 45 minutes to raise our energy frequency as high as we could. So when we got to Randy's and he starts walking us out onto the property, our energy was just flying, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're walking down this power line corridor that's cut in through his property. And we're walking, and he's talking. And there's a guy there. His name is Mike Quast, and he's written a book about that property. It's called Sasquatch Central. And
Okay.
so he wanted to be there when we were there in case something happened, so he could document that in one of his future books. So here we are walking, and Randy's talking about the Bigfoots. And I'm looking ahead down the power line corridor, and I see something standing out in the open, and it looks like a Bigfoot. It was dark brownish red, like an orangutan color, but same color that maybe a rotting tree would look like, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so it was just big and standing out there in the open, and I'm like, well, that looks like a Bigfoot, but that can't be a Bigfoot because Randy would be saying, hey, look at the Bigfoot right there. And he's just talking. And so I'm walking with them, and we're walking toward it, and I'm watching this thing going, it's got to be a dead tree. It has to be. I'm not going to say anything. It's got to be a dead tree. So we walk another 600 feet, and it's still there, still looking like a Bigfoot, but I'm still assuming it's a dead tree. So then Randy takes us into the forest to look at some structures that he found back there. And we come back out, and he's showing us the hairs that are stuck on this one power pole there. And we're looking at the hairs. And I look down to where I'd seen the dead tree.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's gone. There is nothing there.
And was the hair of similar color?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And those hairs were sent off to Darby Orcutt, who's doing the DNA genome study at the North Carolina University. And he
say it again. I'm sorry. Say it again. Who was it again?
Darby Orcutt.
Oh, I know this. I know of this. I had a gentleman. It's the North Carolina state, correct?
Yeah.
Where this is being done? Yeah, it's interesting. Darby Orcutt, guys. He's the guy you want to talk to if you want to. We're trying, Jen, I'm sorry. We're trying to figure out this mystery because we know the government knows. They won't tell us because that means they have to then give them rights and protection, and all the timber industry, everything will be destroyed. So they're not going to admit to it. But there's a gentleman, Darby was going to Orcutt. Go look him up. and you can actually talk to him maybe through some type of emails or things like that. If you have something that you have to offer that can be scientifically tested or looked at least it's a place where you guys can start. I'm sorry, it was super important that I got that out there. Yes, please, because you
Absolutely.
just mauled over it. It's such a huge thing.
Yeah, after he received those hairs, he decided that he wanted to come out. So he
Oh,
came from North Carolina and he spent about 5 days with us in Minnesota on my reservation and then a few days at Randy's property with us. So that was fun. That was just this last summer that he came up. So anyway, back to when I saw the Bigfoot. So I started saying, "Oh, it's gone, it's gone." And Jenna heard what I was saying. She was very busy trying to film the hairs on the pole. And then she heard what I was saying and she's like, "Wait a minute, I saw something too." And so she looked back down to what she had been looking at, which was something completely different. My eyes were focused on the left side of the poles because
uh-huh.
my eyes just got locked in on that and that's what I was looking at all the time. She was looking down the right side, just outside the tree line. She had seen a black one that was a little bit shorter. So they were two different colors. And she's like, and so she
That's
looks down to see
weird.
what she had been seeing, also assuming it was probably a dead tree because Randy would be saying something. We were both thinking the same thing. Randy would say something if that was a Bigfoot. And
Right, right.
and so, the question that Mike, the book writer, was always asking after that was, do you think that you saw it because you're psychic? Because we didn't see it. And I said, well, no offense, Mike, but you were busy looking at me while we were talking and things like that.
Right,
And
right.
busy
Being
talking.
attentive with the conversation. Yes.
Right. And Randy was busy talking. So I'm not exactly sure that either one of them was looking there. You know what I'm saying? Where Jenna and I were taking in the property with brand new eyes for the very first time. But
Right.
maybe, I mean, it's possible that we saw it because our energy was so high,
Okay.
because that could open your consciousness to a higher level of dimensional seeing. Okay.
So you think that these so when you're what you're saying with this, if I can go ahead and read between the lines a little bit, do you think these things are sometimes interdimensional? They could be between two places or like go in and out as they choose, and depending on your intentionality and your wavelength, that means that you're sometimes able to see them better than others. Is that what you're saying?
So my tribe says yes. That is the belief of our tribe.
Okay.
And so when I originally went to the elders and started asking about Bigfoot, I haven't started asking them about dogmen yet. That's coming next. But
Okay.
I originally went and asked the elders about the Bigfoot. Every elder I could get in my hands on to go talk to, I was asking about the Bigfoot. And they all said very similar things. They used different wordage, to describe the same thing. They talked about how they could travel instantaneously through the ground,
Wow.
physical travel from one place to another. And I'm like, okay, so are you talking about running through tunnels under the ground from one place? No, I'm talking about instantaneous physical travel from one location to the other, not through a tunnel. And I'm like, okay, so are you describing to me a portal? And they said yes. So I mean, this is when
Wow.
I can get in front of an elder that will talk, that will trust me and talk to me. You can get some really good information.
No
But
kidding.
even though I'm second medium and I'm Native American, I still have this rational part of my mind that goes, that's really, really magical. Um,
Of course.
and
We've been
I
conditioned to think that way.
right. And so I do what I call my little mystery bag. That it's an imaginary bag that anything that I learn or hear about, and I'm not sure because I've never experienced it and I can't fathom it at this moment in time, I put that information in my mystery bag. I don't reject it. I don't automatically accept it either because this rational part of my mind says, but when it comes from an elder and multiple elders are saying the same thing, I'm going to hold that sacred and I'm going to hold on to it for sure. But it wasn't until I started having experiences that went ding, ding, ding. It comes out of the mystery bag at that point.
I
Does
got
that
you.
make sense?
It makes complete and utter sense because, you know, it's good that scientists are along with this for the ride. Some of them, of course, a lot of them, they have their career to protect mortgages to pay, so they're not going to do that. But then there's some that do want to come out, and we're very thankful for that. Speaking for somebody that I'm a medium myself, but not like you. I'm a medium that shares the information in this digital space, and I think I think there's a disservice held by people who have yet to have these experiences or haven't had these experiences. You need to listen to the elders, because a lot of times they're going to say something that will line up with something that you've actually seen, and then you, like you're saying, putting two and two together. So that is fantastic information. So one more time, guys, this is the first time we're doing it. If you're over on the vertical, so you see us this way, and you want to chat, come on over to the horizontal. The link is in the description within the YouTube video you're watching now. Sorry, Jen. It's my first time. I got to make sure I get them all out there. So people are going over here on the side. It's like, is this who I think it is? I guess. And I go, I don't know. Jen, your intelligence is intoxicating. Oh, thank you very much, Bigfoot Truth 5281. That's very, very sweet of you.
Thank you.
Northwest Native Tracker, Owiza. So happy you came to join us today. I'm so glad to see you. Big Squatch Mama, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Sorry, kind of going through a little bit here. We're about 10 minutes out, and you got to at least semi-promise me that, Jen, that you will maybe come back on again, because I think we have more questions than we actually have stories to be telling today. But it is incredible. It's incredible. So what would you say to somebody? I will subscribe. I'll take it. I will, but maybe you can say I did. What can you tell somebody who is a skeptic, on the fence? They might have seen the Patterson Gimlin film, or they've knew somebody who's seen something one time. What would you say to them to make them kind of maybe think of it in a different light?
I'm definitely going to say I relate, because I didn't think Bigfoot was a real thing either, but it wasn't until I went out there and started having experiences of my own. And that, there's a saying out there that says, what you seek is seeking you. And so when you go out there with the intention of looking for Bigfoot,
that's interesting.
You also have to have a really good intention in your heart, because the native teaching on that too is you're not going to see him unless he wants you to see him.
It kind of reminds me of the saying, when you stare into the abyss stares back at you. Mm-hmm. So that's like that sentence right there keeps me away from Ouija boards. So, okay, Jen, we're almost out of time here. We're going to start winding the show down.
It's okay. I have some time. So it's
you have some time? Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll go.
I don't have to be to work. I don't have to be back to work for an hour, but it's like a 15
What do you got? What do you got? Late shift or something? What are you doing?
Well, I'm self-employed, so I work when there's work, and I would have just kept working, but I said to the client, I'm sorry, I can't get you in right now. I have to go do this interview, and then I can come back.
You're living the dream, self-employment. I'm doing the same thing. I'm a tutor here in Mexico. So
awesome.
You and I are living the dream, man, because a lot of people don't have that. That's beautiful. Yeah. So this is incredible. So what's next for you? What is I know you're going to continue with your research, and you and Jenna, next time, maybe you can have Jenna on so I can meet her too. Hopefully everything works out. Yeah, I know. Sure. Internet's not working very well. I understand. What's next for you guys? Do you have any plans in the future? Anything we should know about? What we should look out for? Is there any books in the works? Things like that?
I do need to write a book. I know. Keep hounding me about that. I do. I have so many things in my head that I need to share that are not even Bigfoot related too. So there's just so much that I need to do. I figured out that I tell stories better than I write them. So I have now started recording me telling the stories.
You sound like me. You sound like me.
And so that I can just type them out after.
All my jokes, I used to sit down and I'm a comic, so I sit down and just like, okay, today we're gonna write. There's people who just write, and then something's in there. For me, I hear it, and in my head it's funny, but if I write it down, it's not as funny, or I don't remember it in the way I said it. So I have to listen to it 2 weeks later, and if I still laugh, then I know I can take it to stage. So I know exactly what you're saying. I swear, very similar.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to seeing that. I mean, you got to get down to business. You got to find time. You got to less sleep and more writing, Jen.
Right, right. Well, definitely that. I know that this winter I will be meeting up with Jenna in the south, and we're going to be looking for Bigfoot somewhere. I'm not going to say where.
No.
Um, and then in March, I'm speaking at the Serpent Mound Star Knowledge Conference in March, which is in Ohio at the Serpent Mound, and that is not Bigfoot. That is me sharing indigenous star knowledge stuff. So that's something I started doing on the side this year, where
Oh,
it's
we
just
got to
me,
do that.
and I got started
We,
getting
you got to come on and talk to me about that.
star knowledge.
I love any of that kind of stuff. I love mystery. I love, like, and I'm not trying to make any Christians upset, but or you, if you're a Christian, I don't mean it in any way negative, but like, it was used to be called a Yuletide. And that's why we bring a tree in, because because there's 3 days where it looks like the sun doesn't go back to its position as it's climbing in a different part of the sky. So it was kind of like, hey, we'll get together and make it to this part of the year. And then they celebrate. Then you had the three wise men, which is the belt. And then you have Sirius following it, or they're following Sirius. So I love that kind of knowledge. I love to put it into my, my Rolodex of thoughts and ideas. And yeah, I'm very interested in something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm yapping over here.
Yep. So I mean, Jenna and I spoke at a UFO conference for the first time this last year, and they thought we were going to talk about Bigfoot. So they put us on the first day, which was a Friday, and they didn't think as many people would be there because they didn't think Bigfoot would be a big draw. And I kind of surprised them, where I talked about Bigfoot for all of 10 minutes, and then I switched to star knowledge, and they were blown away. And I think they then wished they'd put me on Saturday.
Well, because more the reason to pull you back next time.
So, but immediately then, word spread, and I was immediately asked to go to a Star Knowledge conference that was in 2 weeks. And I went to that in South Dakota, spoke there. And then I was immediately asked to do the one in Ohio. And it just seems to be snowballing. That is something that is nobody from my tribe seems to be talking much about. And the stuff that I know, I spent like 5 years spending the weekend at my elder's house, sitting on the floor next to his chair, just asking questions. And and the thing is that you don't get the answers. They're not just gonna shove it at you. You have to like look at stuff and start asking the questions like, this doesn't make sense to me. Can you help me understand?
Right.
And that's where the information came from. It's not something they're out there broadcasting.
Yeah, it's a lot of self-discovery as well. You get the information, but that information they give you is to give you the interest, the oomph to go out and actually look at it yourself, and then start connecting your own dots. And then maybe once you do that, you can come back to them. Did you mean this? And they'll go, yep, that's what I meant.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Aha! There is a way of how consciousness works sometimes, because you speak to your grandmother, even us who are not native, they'll tell you, you do this and you do that. Like, what are you talking about? And then later on, you're like, I'm 35 now. I know what she was saying. Everyone has that experience.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of wound it down. Jen, one more time, please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find your website, your Facebook, your YouTube, and all the above. That way they can come and look at what you're doing.
She Squatchers Official on Facebook and YouTube. SheSquatchers.com online. Again, my website is not up to date. Please forgive me. I need to get to that, but I'm so busy right now. And we traveled for most of the fall. I mean, we were in Europe for a month, and then I was home for 7 days, which I worked every single day nonstop. And then I left again for 10 days to Michigan. And then I was home for 3 days and left again for another 3. And then I was home for 3 days, left for another 5. I mean, it was just like, I have
constantly going. Yeah.
Not been here.
Yeah, I understand. I do. I really do.
Yeah. So please come and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get back to doing our live shows again on a regular basis. But Jenna's traveling this week, so she's just not able to put one out there with me this week. But next week, look for us.
Right.
And I'm seeing questions in there, and I feel bad about not answering them.
There's so many questions that I actually had to write on the side. There's so many questions, but it's hard to ask the questions when there's a flow of the conversation going, and being being the interviewer and the person who chooses when things go. So it's I really appreciate. So that's a great way to end the show. We want to thank you guys so very much for all your questions today. Go ahead, Jen.
I will say that Jenna and I are trying to come on and doing a live with just her and I so that people have the opportunity to ask us questions. So we've been trying to do more and more of that.
Fantastic. I'm really glad that you decided to come on today. You asked me the day before, let me know, and I really appreciate that you took time out of your busy schedule to come and talk with us today. And I will set up a future date next year sometime that you can come back on and impart some of your wisdom. Thank you. Great show tonight. I agree. Thank you, Jen. And it was a lot of fun, and thank you so very much.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being here. Remember, guys, we are the eye. We are aware. I love you all, and have a wonderful weekend. You have been watching the Eye of Jupiter podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of your favorite interviews. And remember, we are the eye, and we are aware.